This is fight 186. It's at Taipei Stadium in Chiang Mai, and it's against Payayong Sorsor Chiang Mai. So Payayong, I don't know if at the time of this fight, but definitely not long after this fight, she is also a referee at this stadium in Chiang Mai. I don't think she's ever refereed one of my fights. It's possible that she has. Maybe. I'll have to actually go look. I feel like she actually has. But what's amazing is that Taipei has actually at least 3 female referees, which means they also judge on the side of the ring. Yeah, so here it looks like we have Harneen in the ring. She's also obviously a female referee. She travels around. She was up in Chiang Mai for quite a long time, and now she does kind of big events in Bangkok and will travel down to big shows anywhere that they're happening and things like that. She, since this time, when she moved away from Chiang Mai, she's now married to Nam Sak Noi. They're the cutest couple ever. They're very wonderful. But this fight is in 2017, so I'm actually voicing this 4 years after it happened, just because I didn't have time to keep up with voicing over all my fights. So I'm doing it now. But Payayong and I have fought a couple of times. I think this might be the first or second. It's early. And she's a very good fighter. I like her a lot. I like her as a person as well and as a referee. But one of the cool things about her being a referee here at Taipei is that Kop Cassette, who is the promoter at Taipei, really has forwarded female Muay Thai in a strong way, which is one of the reasons that Chiang Mai was the mecca for female Muay Thai in Thailand. That was the place to go if you were a female fighter and you wanted to fight. It's Chiang Mai. There are fights every night of the week. There are multiple stadia that have women fighting, and then there are provincial... Onyx is there. That's Chocolate and Jack. Onyx are my sponsors from Onyx MMA in Singapore. Chocolate fights at this stadium, so maybe she had come out for a fight as well, which is very cool. But so Kop Cassette has really forwarded female Muay Thai in a very strong way, and it's kind of interesting to be voicing this now because this is 4 years later, and it's during COVID, and COVID has very unfortunately kind of crushed the Muay Thai scene everywhere, but it really has impacted the fact of Chiang Mai being this like female mecca of Muay Thai in that fights aren't happening. This stadium is basically closed now. And so the opportunities that women were kind of surviving on in that sense have just gone on hold, I hope, rather than disappearing. Although other opportunities have kind of come up because of COVID as well. It's rough for everybody, but for female fighters who are already this like kind of lower tier in terms of opportunities and things like that, it's been really difficult. I've got my Onyx Muay Thai shorts on, those look good. So this fight's at 51.5 is what Payayong weighed in as. The Sorsor Chiang Mai is a sports school. So she fights out of a gym that's basically like a sports school, which means like university students can fight for the team. It's a little bit more than like if you play for the football team of your university because you're getting credit for it, and it can be like a focus of what you're doing. Sports schools are interesting, and they're one of the reasons why female Muay Thai can be as prolific as it is because of sports schools. I like how she rolls the bottoms of her shorts up. It looks like a diaper, but it's kind of badass nonetheless. So as a referee and as someone from the sports school, she's definitely known about me for quite a while. I was fighting fighters out of the sports school back when I was a fighter up at Lana. Ploy Siam, I think. Nong Ploy was a fighter that I fought out of that gym for quite a while. I'm southpaw here, which I don't know that Payayong would be anticipating that, because this was kind of new for me at the time. I'd been working on southpaw for quite a while. It's something that Karahat switched me to put my strong side forward, but I hadn't been fighting with it. Like I'd been working on it in training, but In fights even, I'm still just kind of flashing into it. I'm not staying in it. That was a nice teep from her. So she's establishing her kind of like, nice Chiangmai Supergirl there. She's establishing her like backup score thing that is probably her bread and butter for fighting. Usually there's one person who has to kind of come forward aggressively and the other person can do what she's doing. Although that will change like as the fight progresses. I'm kind of gliding, like drifting right a little bit, which is not great for how she fights. But here we're in the clinch in round 1. That got broken really quick. That might be because it's round 1, but my clinch gets broken really, really fast because people know who I am. Nam Kabuin said the same thing happened to him. It's not me crying about like, oh, they're unfair to me. Like they're unfair to a lot of fighters who have a strength. They'll kind of pull them away from it. Oh, nice kickback on my part. I don't do that often. So just a kind of like establishing of round 1. We'll see whether Dang has much to say about that. Kevin is telling me I have to clinch straight away. I had had some success in that round, in that moment when we started clinching. Who is this in my corner? I think Dang brought one of his students. I don't know who this woman is, but she must have been training at Lana Muay Thai at the time, and so Dang brought her to help corner for me. My attitude seems good. I seem pretty relaxed. I think he's telling me not to switch into southpaw. He's telling me to swim in the clinch, but I think he's telling me to stay in my orthodox guard. I was working on switching into southpaw and fighting in southpaw because Karahat had this whole system around putting my front side forward and ultimately trying to get me to be southpaw altogether, not necessarily switching. And I wasn't good at it yet. So a lot of my cornermen, a lot of my trainers, a lot of people who weren't Karahat at the time weren't on board with this process. They were like, you're not southpaw, don't switch into southpaw, you're not strong in it, blah, blah, blah. I basically was eating disadvantage in order to kind of work on this thing. Like, I'm maybe gonna lose some fights, I'm gonna lose some rounds, I'm gonna stumble and not look good because I'm not strong in it yet, but it was something that I wanted to really commit myself to and work on to see whether or not I could figure out, I immediately went into southpaw there, to see if I could figure out this strategy that Karahat was intending for me. That was a nice right kick from her. When it lands on your shoulders and your arms like that, it's not a huge score, but it does score. She's off balancing me there. She outweighs me by probably about 4 or 5 kilos, which is pretty significant. It's like 12, 15 pounds. So when she launches those heavy kicks, it's a significant power difference. Well, size difference. Oh, that like face teep, she is not fucking around. She really likes that Supergirl, the like right kick, right hand thing. Kevin and I always referred to that as the Chiangmai Superman because it's so common in Chiangmai. She's doing it really well. This is something you have to watch out for. She open side kicked me and then I kicked her in the leg. I did buckle her with it, so I affected her, but like a body kick answered with a leg kick, you don't win that exchange. Those are not equal scoring blows. She's snuffing me out in the clinch pretty well. Like, my clinching is fine, but she's keeping me from scoring by putting her shin against my thigh there. I'm having trouble closing the space. Do you see how I'm kind of like creeping forward and stopping at a distance that I can't actually do anything because my weapons are not that length? She can kick from here and is kicking from there. I need to like close that space. But she really launches that right kick. That's one of the dangers of me going southpaw when I'm not southpaw, is that her powerful right kick becomes a kick to my open side when I'm in southpaw. So it actually makes her score higher. Whereas you can kind of close your open side if you have someone who's kind of launching with their lead kicks. Oh, she's trying with elbows. That was a nice knee from me. That was a big scoring knee from me. Yes! That was big. That just took the whole round for me. I think I'm like checking whether I'm cut. I was just like checking with my gloves. So in that last moment, I won that round. I'm breathing heavy. I think that was a little bit stressful for me. Kevin is saying to pull her off the ropes. Yes, but it was in the ropes that I kind of tumbled her down there. So I have a third corner man down here. This is Pinoy, who's like down. You can see his black shirt. He's down underneath me. He's not getting in the ring. He actually just like helps while he's at the stadium. Like if he's there when I fight, he just jumps in and helps. I think sometimes Dang asks him to if he doesn't have other people, but even though Dang has an assistant, he jumps in and helps anyway. I think he gambles. I'm not sure what the gambling is like with me in my fights at Tape anymore. They must still bet on me because my opponents just kept getting bigger. But there's a section over kind of behind us this way. That's the gambling section of Tape. So I think Dang is telling me to block on my way in because really she's scoring with kicks on both sides of my body. The open side kick scores bigger than the closed side kick, but a closed side kick still scores. So basically you want to nullify that point on your way in because you're going to be eating points as you're coming in to score closer range weapons. Oh, she is good at that scoot away. She scoots and kind of like angles to the right, and then she sets up for that super girl that she's done like 3 times now. Oh, her hands are down by her waist, and I'm not like rushing in to punish her for that. I'm leaping across space a little bit here. She's tagging me on my way in, so basically Dang is yelling at me to just what I was doing there. That was good. I kept my leg up on my way in, so she actually didn't even throw the kick, and then I grabbed her. It broke that clinch very fast. Nice leg kick. Oh, she kicks high, man. She's not actually like hitting me super hard, but those are good points. Oh, off the ropes. Instantaneous break of the clinch. That's crazy. People who don't maybe understand how breaking of the clinch shapes a fight so strongly. Imagine if the ref like separated you every time someone landed a kick, so you could like never actually create a combination or pressure someone or damage someone. Like breaking the clinch really shapes the fight because the way clinch should work, there are bad clinchers who don't actually use the clinch to develop anything, but good clinching develops as it moves. Here, I've got my head in. The camera's not over there, so I can't actually see what's happening, but she's letting it go, which means that we're both moving. Here we go. I've got her in the corner. She's actually turning way to the side, which I think is why Harneen is breaking that. Hands up. Dang is screaming. Oh, she is fighting hard. This is round 3. This is a scoring round. This is a big deal, and I won the last one. 2's not that important, but this is the round you want to win in order to like start establishing your lead for the rest of the fight. Oh! Yes. Round 3 is mine, ma'am. I would not have won round 3 if she had been like just kicking me, tagging me, whatever, and I throw her down once. No, that's not enough to take the entire round. But in the clinch, I was scoring. I was getting really good points in there, and I was holding dominant positions so that I had taken a dominant, not great, but little bit of a dominant lead. Because I was so close to her, she could not be scoring her points, which she does at a distance. If I had stayed at a distance with her the whole time, she would have racked up the points, she would have had the lead, and then me throwing her down maybe would have like evened it out a little bit, but it would not have given me a lead if I had not already been in the lead. So round 2 is not that important, but having established a lead in round 2, now a lead in round 3, these are 2 rounds going in my direction, which means it's really important for me to continue in that vein in round 4. If in round 4 I fall, not like on the ground, but if I start to sink and she starts to come up, it makes my rounds 2 and 3 actually not work for me so much, because it means that she's like, oh, she just made a mistake or she wasn't ready and now she's coming into round 4. Round 4 is really important because whatever happened in round 3, it's either the round that like reestablishes your lead that you had in round 3, or it's a chance for someone to kind of like switch positions, like 2 horses are running and the other one kind of goes like this in round 4. Round 4 is a big one. All right. She does the same thing every single round. She starts out with like jab, jab, then she'll kind of circle out to the right here and throw her Supergirl. I was trying with an open side kick there, that's good. There it is. Right on time. The way that she's pumping that jab though, she's too far away for it to do anything, but it also means I'm too far away to do any of my stuff. So we're both wrong, actually, at that range. Leg kicks hurt her. She's got big legs, but she kind of like wobbles when I hit her. But she looks tired. Sylvie, go. Sylvie, go. Yes. So now we're in space. When we get over to the ropes, this is when Harneen can come in and break us, which is why Kevin is always yelling for me to pull someone off of the ropes. See how she's breaking us? Because like, I think Payayong's head went through the ropes. Elbow from me, okay. So someone's yelling left knee from my corner. The left knee would be the open side knee into her. I knock a lot of people out with a left knee. It's not the knee in isolation, it comes through a bunch of like movements, but yes, the left knee would be like my highest scoring point. Oh, she kicks so high with that right. It's nice because it shuts down your punches as well, like even if it's not hurting you, it like pins you like that. So them yelling, oh, that's a nice kick from me. So the close side, but it's still there. There we go. So I took the kick and like dove in with it. Here's how I start to get my knees going. Oh, throwing someone down in the middle of the ring looks really good. I have very strong ends of rounds in this fight in particular, so 3 and 4 both mine. That means that in round 5, I don't have to do anything. Like there's no point I have to make. I basically just have to start the round off strong. I don't have to come forward. I don't have to be the aggressor, but I have to start out strong, and then I can start kind of backing up. Like, I have the lead, I'm going to pull you, which visually is really interesting because I have not been a backing up fighter at all in this fight. Payayong's been backing up the entire time, which means now in round 5, because she's behind, she has to come forward. So there's a visual change from what she has been doing to what she's doing now, which actually just kind of highlights the fact that she's not winning. It's a very dangerous thing if you're a kind of femur counter striker. If you're going backwards the entire fight and then you have to come forward in round 5, it's basically like a look at the pimple on my face that you had to make a change. Whereas the change I would make, where I've been coming forward the whole time and now I can start backing up, that's the visual change that's like, look, I have the lead. So you kind of want to make sure that as a fighter in the narrative of a fight, you don't stay in one direction the entire time, because it makes whatever happens near the end of the fight, it forces your hand to highlight if you're behind. So bowing to your corner at the start of round 5 is a thing that you'll see people do. Hugging at the start of round 5 is also a thing you'll see people do. Nice teat. Hop in, landing a knee. So her knees aren't scoring, that one scores. Her head goes through the rope. I don't want to complain too much. Putting your head through the rope is really lame, and she's a referee, which means she knows that this is kind of a foul. It's like the same as like grabbing the rope, but putting your head through the rope gets the ref to come get you. It annoys me that she does this. I like hold it against her that she does this. Oh, nice. Attempt at an elbow, but I like parried it to the side and got a good rip on her. It's a little slip there. So because I'm me, apparently I just decided to keep coming forward in this fight despite having the lead, which meant that Payayong could keep going backwards, which means that what I was talking about this highlighting of the, oh, here I'm not coming forward, okay. The thing about highlighting the zit on your face, or like showing like now you have to come forward, by me deciding to come forward, I'm not forcing that recognition. Now I'm not coming forward. Now I'm like, you have to come to me. So now I'm forcing the recognition of like things have changed. But it's like the second half of the last round, which is appropriate. You don't necessarily want to backpedal the entire 5th round. 1, it's hard for me to go backwards for that long. 2, if you're going backwards and they score really big, they can actually shift it. And 3, it's fucking boring. It's very boring to watch people dance off an entire last round. Her head is through the ropes again. Makes me so mad. So she has to come forward, but she's not like charging forward. Like she's basically conceding that she's behind in this fight. Face team. She's like, yes, you've won, but here's a little goodnight kiss. Face team. That's good. Fight 186. I think this is the fight that's in Simon Mulvaney's Under the Ropes documentary that he made of me. I think it's taken from this fight. So if you go watch that on YouTube, Under the Ropes by Simon Mulvaney, it's a beautiful short documentary. I think that this is the fight that he filmed in there. Oh, I wonder if Chocolate was fighting the next night or had already fought. Now I'm curious.
Chocolate, can you help me and carry this one? Okay, thank you.
That's Jack. Jack is wonderful. Chocolate is wonderful. It's great to have sponsors who you really, really like, because then you can have an ongoing relationship with them that it feels really good to be engaging with them all of the time, and it feels like you share a vision and you share a purpose in what you're doing. And they took me to Singapore once and had me stay for a couple of days and actually be at the gym and see how everything runs, and it was really, really cool. Ah, Chocolate's fighting tomorrow. Glad we have this post-fight thing. So I think I'm the last fight of the night, so everything is closing down now. Everyone's just going to get up and go home. I come over here and take my wraps off, maybe get some photos with people over by this painting. And this area usually would be full of fighters, but it's the end of the night. People fight and go home. So, yeah, 186.
Hey, I am here at Taipei Stadium. Just had fight 186 against Payayong Chiangmai. She's only 51.5 kilos. I weighed in at 46.5. And so she's the same weight difference as a lot of the girls I fight, but not that huge. But she's strong, and she was stifling my clinch quite a lot. But it's very exciting. I'm fighting tonight, but 2 of my sponsors from Onyx MMA, which is my sponsor in Singapore, are here because Chocolate is fighting tomorrow night. So Jack and Chocolate are here. They came and they gave me some swag, awesome new shorts from Onyx. Got my name on it and everything. Nice, awesome Onyx shorts that I got to wear in my fight. And they're here tonight, and then because Chocolate's fighting tomorrow, I get to come corner for Chocolate, which I only do for VIPs, and Chocolate is definitely that. She's fighting on Ben, who's very strong. So yeah, definitely good fight. I made it harder on myself than I needed to, but I did get to experiment with some things in it. I went southpaw for a while, which I